up, YouTube? I am Dom Knight. This is Night Talks. We are back with another Reaction Wednesday. Before we jump into it, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel for more content. Hit that bell. The goal is 250 subs by the end of the year. Big goal, some size my eyes on the prize. My first reaction video I ever did was a roommates podcast reaction. And I decided to bring them back. I'm going to do one of their more popular videos because of who's in it. This is an interview with Candace Owens. And if you guys don't know who Candace Owens is, she's a very conservative, right-wing, outspoken political commentator. And I don't agree with Candace Owens on a lot of things she says. We're not going to get into that. This channel is not about politics, so I'm not a fan of them. But I peeped a little bit of this, and I was digging what she had to say so far. So this is Candace Owens Explains the Biggest Problem with Women Today. So let's get right into it.
Not only that, then increasingly you're telling women to be the opposite of what I think men want, right? The opposite, maybe in the instant when men are not thinking with their big heads and they're saying, oh, whoa, she's out naked, great, I'm going to go for it. That might be what a man wants. But long term, that's not what a man wants. A man doesn't want a girl that's just going to be naked all the time and put herself out there available for every man to see. You know, that I don't have to be a man to know that that's not what men want. So then you say men suck. And I ask this question all the time. You complain about men, but are you being the type of a woman that a man would want, right?
Yo, what's up, guys? Before we get started, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We are almost at 300,000 subscribers, and we would love for you guys to help us make it happen. So hit the subscribe button, and let's get started with today's video.
You know what I always say? Experiment with both and tell me what makes you feel better. And that is the truth when it comes to young women, because I dedicated my first episode to young women and really talking to them about these are the options that are being presented to you. Less, take off more clothes, you know, do the most to get attention, right? If you think that that's freedom, the idea that you have to wear less and the idea that you have to get naked to be heard, you really think that's a form of freedom? Because that's slavery, that's bondage. I didn't have to take off my clothes to be heard in society. And these women will realize that when you follow these people that are, you know, self-imposed feminists, I'm a feminist, I do this, I'm a feminist, you hear that word over and over and over again, you'll find that the majority of them are miserable. Look at their lives and ask yourself a question. Do you think they are happy? Do you feel good when you do what they do, right? When you're constantly looking for a dopamine hit from social media because you took your clothes off and you want somebody in your comments, you know, a thirst trap with your ass out, right? And you want someone in your comments going, oh, you slay, bae, you slayed the day, bae, hashtag Tuesdays, am I right? And you do this stuff for attention and you're devaluing yourself, and at the end of the day you don't actually feel good, and it's not going to bring you happiness, right? So yeah, you can get guys sliding in your DM, you can get guys telling you look good, you can get guys that want to sleep with you. How many of these people actually get guys that want to stay with you, right? Are not in somebody else's DM. The same way that you found him is the same way he's going to find somebody else, because we are increasingly becoming a part of a society that's ADHD. You want to know why our
Hold up. Wow. She said a lot there. I gotta say, a fat chunk of what she's saying is correct. I'm just gonna speak on me personally. I'm probably not gonna really go for a girl who takes her clothes off online all the time. That's not what I'm going to go for if I'm trying to be in a relationship with somebody. And that's just me personally. And I know there's guys who like that and look for that, and that's okay. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. You have the freedom to do what you want. But I think what Candace is trying to get at is that just know that there are consequences for certain things that you do. And a certain type of guy is only going to go for that certain type of chick. And I think what she's ultimately getting at is at some point, you might want a guy that's really going to take you serious, and you're going to want a certain type of guy, but that type of guy may not take you serious based on some of the actions that you're doing now. That's just my interpretation of what she's saying. But let's continue.
parents stayed together because they weren't looking at ass cheeks all day on Instagram and refreshing it and going, oh, well, that girl looks younger, that girl looks better, that girl's face tuned, you know, and I think that is what these young women that they're following are telling them. You've got 13-year-olds getting lip injections, right? Because they want to look like Kylie Jenner. Again, not a shot to Kylie Jenner, but what society have we created that ever made Kylie Jenner feel like she had to go out and buy those lips, that she had to contour her entire face and change her entire body? She was already a beautiful little girl. So the society is ill. It's not normal, right? Don't let these people convince you that that's normal. That's cancer, and that cancer will become contagious to you if you accept that. You don't follow better role models.
It seems to me a lot of women, when they hear conservative values, the trigger to them, and I could be wrong, the trigger to them, it seems as, you know, bondage, you know, go back in the kitchen, you know, shut up and just, you know what I mean, just be a slave to your husband. Why do you feel like there's so much of when they're hearing about some of the things that you say, like what makes you happy is making your husband a sandwich, some people are like, that sounds crazy, right? So why do you think there's such a disgust, such a rejection of that kind of idea of that kind of woman in regards to modern society? Because
we're being brainwashed via the education system.
Okay.
You learn feminism in school, right? You learn feminism. I had to actively learn it.
And for clarification, how do you define feminism?
I can tell you how they define it and what it actually is, right?
Go
so
ahead.
Feminism in school, when you learn it, is you're just fighting against the patriarchy, and you're supposed to see the patriarchy everywhere. It's the same way that critical race theory and race is being taught. The idea is they're not actually teaching you anything but how to hate white people when you're learning about race in school. And when you are learning about feminism, they're not actually teaching you anything other than how to hate men and to see the patriarchy and men putting you down everywhere, right? So when you have that form of psychological conditioning taking place in the school system, you're producing women that see the patriarchy everywhere. It becomes like a paranoia, right? Oh my God, if asked me to make a sandwich, oh my God, can I make a sandwich? And then that's it, I'm trapped. And they're actually not realizing that there actually was an incentive behind you even being taught that. You've never actually lived the life of making a husband a sandwich, and they think that's going to send you back and suddenly you're going to lose your voting rights and you're not going to be able to go get work. You know, there was a time when there was a need for feminism, first wave feminism, right? But first wave feminists would want nothing to do with third wave feminists, which is where we're at today, right? Women that think that actually first wave feminists, you could argue, envied men, right? They wanted to be able to go to work. They wanted to have that option to be something outside of the home, right? Now we have that option, and we're being told the exact opposite, which is that everything in the home is bad, and that's what you call throwing out the baby with the bathwater. There are some really amazing things. I think the best things that come from being at home. Sometimes I think we got the bad end of the deal, right? I'm like, wait, we got to stay at home and do nothing and spend our husband's money, and somebody complained?
Yeah. For real. I always wondered that. I get it. Everybody wants a life and wants their own identity and wants to, have the freedom to choose and feel like, this is my life and I got control of it. Totally get it. Totally fine. But women, ladies, y'all had a nice little setup. Y'all really did. Cook, clean, take care of some kids. You ain't got to worry about going outside, dealing with no bull crap at work. You ain't got to deal with no people other than your family. You can put them kids down for a nap, have a little wine, a little cocktail. I always wonder why, ladies kind of threw that out. But hey, I get it. Y'all all wanted y'all freedom, or I say freedom, but y'all all wanted the choices and the options. I get that. So it is what it is. Let's continue.
Yeah.
That's a joke, guys.
That's a joke. But no, that and to me, I think that's the part where, I've unfortunately seen that happen so much in society, that there's such a mischaracterization to me of what people think as stay-at-home mothers and traditional women. There's such a mischaracterization, like these women were prisoners,
right?
And so whereas, like you said, I think first wave feminism wanted women to have a choice, but then third wave, the choice is gone. You must choose what we want for
exactly
you, right?
What we want is you need to be top 40 Forbes company, a corporation. If you don't have that, then you somehow failed. And I'm like, that is so backwards and so wrong. And it also goes against biology. It goes against biology. There's a reason, biological underpinning to everything that we have in this society. People keep trying to outthink biology. It doesn't work that way, right? There's a reason, women can carry children and men can't. So that instantly allows man to have different goals in terms of the workforce than women, because that means we have to make a decision. Do we have children or continue working working an hour career or try to juggle both. Men don't have that same pressure, and it's not their fault. They didn't design this. Men weren't like, well, I have an idea. Let's not be able to carry children. Only let women be able to do that. And so there's the biological reality of that. And increasingly you see women that go for it in terms of their career because they have the societal pressure. And then it's too late. And then they realize, wow, this job is not making me happy. But my gosh, can I just tell you as a new mom what you feel like when your son smiles at you? Like, when your baby looks up at you, there's no greater feeling of accomplishment. Like there is none. I have accomplished a lot in my life in terms of my career. And I can tell you there is nothing that satisfies me more than just my baby smiling at me. And we're taking that away from women because we're telling them that's the wrong aspirations to have in life.
Another thing that I've noticed going on in society is that there is a lot of cynicism towards men as well. And you've talked about it, as well on your show and on different platforms. And I've noticed that a lot of women, similar to like what the media does, it projects such a negative, cynical view of men in society, of men are going to take advantage of you, they're going to beat you, they're going to, get you pregnant and leave you. There's such a negative view of men. So for women who may have a negative view of men because of maybe personal experience, whether their father may have not been there or because of whatever society painted to them, how would you encourage them? How would you motivate them to not be as cynical and to be more optimistic when it comes to men?
I think it's a self-perpetuating problem, meaning that there are crappy men in the world, right? But men are crappy because we've created a system where manhood has become obsolete. You keep increasingly telling men more and more they can't matter. When I say, who are they being told that by? They're, like I said, there's more sinister implications here of why we're making manhood obsolete. When we're saying masculinity is wrong, this is backwards. You don't need a man. You can just have a baby without a man. You're starting to see that sort of programming happening with young women. When you're telling women to act like men, you should aspire to the things that men naturally might aspire to. When you remove the more natural feeling of men being providers and women being nurturers, which is a beautiful yin and yang that just works, right? So you're creating men to feel obsolete, and then women are complaining because men aren't being men. It doesn't work that way, right? And not only that, then increasingly you're telling women to be the opposite of what I think men want, right? The opposite, maybe in the instant when men are not thinking with their big heads and they're saying, oh, whoa, she's out naked, great, I'm gonna go for it. Yeah. That might be what a man wants, but long term, that's not what a man wants. A man doesn't want a girl that's just gonna be naked all the time and put herself out there available for every man to see. That I don't have to be a man to know that that's not what men want. So then you say men suck, and I ask this question all the time. You complain about men, but are you being the type of a woman that a man would want, right? It's a self-perpetuating problem. And then you say that and they, oh my God, Candace is a horrible human being. And I'm looking at you going, I'm not a dude. I wouldn't date you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, again, self-perpetuating problem. Not enough women calling out the fact that women are not desirable right now, in my opinion, right? They're sexually desirable, but I wouldn't want to take you home to mom desirable. And then you have men who are being hit over the stick and being told, man, bad, masculinity, bad, who need to be told, no, stand up, tuck your shirt in, right? Be a leader, be what a man is supposed to be. And that dies when we're not even allowed to say man and woman anymore. And that gets me into the tragedy.
All right. I'm gonna cut that there. It's almost over. I'm gonna put this in the description. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I agree with a lot of stuff she said there, especially what she said there at the end about how, hey, are you what a man would want? And I think a lot of women really just don't care what the men that they're going for want. And I can't speak for every man and I can't speak for every person, but I know me as a man, I'm very curious to learn as much about the opposite sex as possible. Just something that's always interests me because ladies are interesting, right? But no, seriously, on a deeper level, I think understanding female nature, understanding human nature is just extremely important to have a clear eye in life. That's just my take on it. And ladies, sit down and talk to guys. Don't fight with us. You shouldn't compete with us. And it's not because you can't win. It's because we're not on the same playing field. We are different. Men should have different interests than your average woman. It's fine to have common and similar interests, but it's okay to be in your natural femininity. That's all I'm gonna say on it. That's all I'm gonna say on it. And if you're a career-driven woman, that's cool too. Not a problem. Not a problem. But just like she said, that career at the end of the day may not make you happy. You can let some good things pass you by if you're chasing that. And that's okay though. It's life. Gotta learn one way or the other. But I think learning as much as you can about human nature will help you make some of the best decisions in life. All right. I am Dom Knight. This is Knight Talks. Another good roommate video. Guys, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content. Hit the bell. Toss the socials right here for you. And we will be back on Friday with some advice. Peace.
That's ISO. Rack it up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up, I got some gas, some packs, I'm up in the greenhouse. Ball it up, I'm with the gang, we taking shots off the rebound. Fucking my post, the same now, I've been humble too.